since we are done with the story, I think we should move on to story number 3, where I have some real interesting data coming from the telecom companies. And these are favorite stocks of people, right? Like your Jio and Airtel and Vodafone idea.
Vodafone, which is at 7 rupees right now.
A penny stock which could make you billions. But anyway, so interesting data coming in from these companies. So like every month these companies put out data saying how many subscribers they either gained or lost in a month. And it's very interesting, right? Back in our stock market show days also we used to do this, because these kind of tell the story about what's happening to these companies. Are they gaining in market share? Are they losing customers? Depending on which the stock price would also have an impact, right? So September and August data is something that we have, and these 2 months of data have something very, very interesting in that. So your Jio, Airtel and Vodafone idea, they have lost subscribers and lost a lot of subscribers. Jio alone lost 80 lakh subscribers in September. Think
in a
about
month.
it. In a month.
80
lakh. So, tens of lakhs of subscribers going away from these 3 main players. And
who is the underdog?
BSNL is gaining subscribers, is what we can see.
BSNL.
25 lakh subscribers is what they gained in August. So something crazy is happening there, is what we can see. So the point being, so people are now speculating, thinking, hey, is this the comeback of BSNL? Are they going to come back with a lot of strength, and maybe are they even going to merge with Vodafone Idea? Those were being discussed. So is that an interesting thing? Will Airtel and Reliance stock price get hit? And all of those are being discussed. So I think we should definitely discuss this here. And my first point being, like, why is this even happening? What's happening, right? Why is BSNL getting subscribers now?
One very straight logical answer that comes to my head is pricing, right? So if you see Jio or Airtel or even Vi for that matter, everybody is charging some 800 to 850 rupees for 3 months plan. And BSNL is actually charging somewhere around 400. So it makes no brainer for them to move to BSNL is what I believe.
So it was a golden period for all of these private players. They could increase prices how much ever they wanted. People were still paying for it. And I think they went a bit out of line here. I mean, the ARPU numbers, the average revenue per user numbers, it's not growing as usual. And people not willing to pay that money and porting out of these private players.
No, I understand that they are undercutting on price. The price offered by BSNL for data is much lesser than what private players are doing. But at the same time, BSNL does not have 5G or even 4G in like smaller places, right? Then what's happening there?
So it's just the pricing thing. People feeling the pinch, maybe the economy not doing well, especially in the rural side. And also the ease with which you can port your mobile number right now. Mobile number portability is what helped Reliance Jio and Airtel grow in 2016. I mean, it completely killed off BSNL as well as Idea. Now that causing harm to the companies that got built using MNP.
I mean, even when we talk about the pricing and all, right? Just remember 5 years ago how much you used to spend on your monthly mobile recharge.
Maybe 100, 200 rupees?
I will ask you, Ajay, what would you...
Yeah, a few hundred, low 100 numbers.
Okay.
Per month.
Now, what is your average? So now 850 rupees. So it is again coming down to somewhere around 300 rupees a month.
300 rupees a month is what I think average everyone's paying. Yeah.
So now you are paying 3x.
Yeah.
And people in the rural areas are not appreciating that. So when they actually look at the advantages or the benefits these companies provide, let's say unlimited data or unlimited something, but you see that older people have two mobiles or 3 mobiles, and one they use it for data or something or streaming services, and they have a Wi-Fi. And now they have another phone which they can't recharge with a very minimal amount or something. And these duopolies where Jio or Airtel, they have increased the prices by a lot. So I think that is the reason for most of the users are actually now porting to BSNL only for that reason.
Yeah, I think that's a valid point, right? The minimum recharge itself for your Jio or an Airtel is this 200, 300 rupees per month. And if for your secondary phone or a tertiary phone or the numbers in your office or people in your office and all, if you really don't want so much of data, and if no minimum recharge below 300 is available, and if BSNL is offering that, I think that could really help. But again, what I'm wondering is, like, over the last 2, 3, 4 years, what was happening to BSNL? What really happened to them? Why did they lose the race? Why did they not compete with the private players?
Jio coming in, bad financing, a lot of huge losses, and obviously bad business practices. Even in 2024, they don't have 4G. They're planning to roll out 4G and 5G in 2025.
Yeah, exactly.
So, the company was, I would say, completely down in the dumps there.
But again, Jio is already testing 6G. And in their actual website, there is a banner, 6G coming out soon, rolling out soon and everything.
And BSNL has a banner saying, hey, we are rolling 5G in June 2025.
Yeah.
And there's that very interesting or viral video that went out on LinkedIn. The BSNL employees unboxing 5G ready SIM.
5G ready SIM.
5G ready.
It's 5G is not available now. It's just ready. Yeah.
Every other player has 5G right now, but
Yeah.
they were opening. I mean, but that was very heartwarming to see at the same time. A group of people just sitting there, opening a box and saying, "Hey, this is BSNL PJ," right? And that was actually very heartwarming.
No, so definitely a lot of emotions attached to BSNL. I hope that was one of the first SIMs for a lot of people, even who are listening as well. So, and back in the days, they had the largest coverage in the country. So definitely, so they were definitely the largest players, but lost the race for all the right reasons you said.
They were not even looking at the commercials, right? So they're a public sector company. They're backed by the central government. They went and put towers where no other private company would.
Yeah.
Even in
because
the small...
they would think for the people, because they are not just operating for profits, they would think for the welfare of the people as well. So that was definitely there.
So I'm sure a lot of Indians for the very first time place a call, even because of BSNL's mentality that everyone should have equal opportunity or equal access to at least landline and even mobile network connectivity.
Yeah. Back in the days, I remember when I used to go to hill stations with my family and all.
Yeah.
I remember my father telling that only BSNL has network and stuff like that.
Same.
BSNL was the only network who would give you coverage in any part of India.
Exactly.
And like what Jio is doing right now, BSNL was a pioneer at that point. And I just hope that, these people, now they are adding lot of customers onto their base. I just hope that they roll out 5G and 6G also and compete with the competition and break this duopoly. And I think that is what even BSNL is trying to do with the stake in V and, maybe a merger that is happening, or any thoughts there?
Yeah, exactly right. So given all this slight comeback of a BSNL of sorts, what could exactly happen from here? Should Jio and Airtel be worried that the original king OG is coming back?
Yeah.
So when Sharique actually put this title in the doc, I was actually very curious. Hey, is this even happening? And then we do our own research, right? So I went and watched 2 YouTube videos. One by Gyan Tech and the other by TechWiser. So these two had the same thumbnail. BSNL making a comeback. Watch this video. And when I watched it, it's very interesting. They get to the same conclusion saying BSNL's internet is still shitty. The speeds, call connection is still shitty. I mean, my dad still has a BSNL connection along with his Jio connection just for the sentimental value. And I never get him on the phone. It's always out of coverage. It's calls get dropped. So it's that same thing that came out to me actually. Today, it's still nowhere. 4G is not there, connectivity, speed, everything, it's still below private players. Maybe the players going out are the low quality users who are just porting back to BSNL for the reduced prices. I don't think that's a problem right now. But 2 years, 3 years, 4 years into the future, if BSNL fixes all of the shit there in today, maybe there can be a serious competition.
They'll have to play a huge catch-up game. They'll have to innovate. They'll have to move fast. Like when you mentioned that Jio is planning to go to 6G and whatnot. So BSNL will have to move, I don't know, double or triple faster than what they are doing today, or what even their competitors are doing to even play the catch-up game and maybe get some share of the market.
So can we say, if BSNL catches up and if BSNL also rolls out 6G along with Jio and Airtel, do you think Jio's and Airtel revenue will take a hit?
So that's where I like to add this, right? More than revenue, I was just looking this and I see that Jio alone is making 20,000 crore rupees in profit a year. And Airtel is also not bad at all. They are also making nearly 17,000 crore rupees profit a year.
So they have lot of cash in their hand.
Absolutely, lot of cash in their hand. They're, I don't know, it's more like a duopoly sort of a situation where they're ruling the market. So even in a very remote case, if BSNL is going to come back, maybe even merge with Vodafone Idea, then make a comeback, do the catch up, and then maybe become a good enough worthy competitor to these two big players, what would happen? Maybe a Jio's and an Airtel's profit margins could come down. That's it. These companies are here to stay. They are doing really well. They are innovating. They are changing the landscape in India. So they'll continue doing good. Their profits would only increase. Maybe the profit percentage might reduce. But again, it's all good for the ecosystem is what I believe.
One point to note there. As we said with the very first story, Adani and PM Modi. Okay, that's like a very open relationship there, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, I'm sure the ruling party has some favors to pull from Reliance also there. And BSNL's inaction over all of these years, actually, the timing was too perfect with Reliance Jio's upcoming and the launch of Jio in 2016 and 15. So I think there's that argument there as well. Will there even be a comeback? Does the government even want to put in a lot of money? Right? They have to invest thousands and 10,000s of crores to grow BSNL from here. They have to invest a lot. And for that, they also need that intent, right? They might have the money. Do they have the intent? I'm really questioning that situation here right now.
To break the duopoly, at least government has to step in and do something. But again, when we talk about these relations, right? Modi, Adani, or even, let's say, all of these relations, that is where I'm like curious, what if, because of that relationship, and Modi calling their friend or their friend from US calling Modi and saying that we need Starlink in India.
Oh, even those are things which can happen.
Yeah.
And we are speaking about BSNL not even able to catch up to 4G.
Yeah.
And when technologies like Starlink and stuff are going to come in, I think my bet wouldn't be on it, BSNL. Yeah.
And in the current situation, if you have seen what's happening, so Elon Musk is pressurizing Indian government to give a nominee-based system. Right, they want the government to choose who will get the wireless internet access, that's like Starlink or its competitors sort of technology access, because they kind of know that it will be allotted to Starlink today. And Mukesh Ambani wants to go the auction route. So this is big news that war is happening. The government is today. They're actually trying to favor Elon Musk, which is very surprising to me.
So for investors right now who are like looking at V stock, probably the hope of becoming it a multi-bagger and a turnaround story is still kind of dicey, and people still have to wait for very long. So maybe people who are actively seeing that it's like 7-8 rupees stock, I'll invest, maybe it's a bad idea even today.
It has fell 50-60% already, I think, this last 1 year. And the only good thing and the only point of discussion there is the government holds 32% stake in VI. And people are saying that, hey, will this end up with a government merging VI and BSNL? And is there a possible future for the company in that way? That's the only argument I think VI has today. Otherwise, they're making tens of thousands of crores losses. Whatever Reliance Jio is making as profits, I think every year consistently they're making as losses. I think.
So anyways, to conclude this story, what we can understand is that whatever we are seeing is very interesting. One is from a data perspective, it's definitely interesting. From an emotional standpoint also, I like what's happening to BSNL, but the story of them coming back and completely changing the scene and all sounds to be a very less probable outcome. But let's see if it's playing out. It's going to be a real good scene to watch from the outside at least.
So I think it's still a pipe dream. And just like the Adani story, there's a lot of nuances here.
A lot of money, lot of motivation, lot of other things to fall at the right place at the right time for BSNL to work out.